Have you ever wondered if something sitting in your kitchen right now could silently increase your risk of a stroke? Shocking truth, most people eat this food almost every day, completely unaware of how dangerous it really is. It's marketed as healthy or harmless, but the reality might make you rethink your next meal. What if I told you this one common food could thicken your blood, clog your arteries, and trigger a stroke without any warning signs? Stay tuned, because in the next few minutes, I'll expose the hidden culprit behind thousands of preventable strokes, and what you can do right now to protect your health. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you care about your heart, your brain, and living a longer, healthier life, this video is a must-watch. Today we're uncovering a food that many people eat daily, believing it's safe, but in reality, it's silently damaging their arteries. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what this food is, how it affects your blood flow, and most importantly, what to eat instead to keep your heart and brain safe. Every year, millions of people suffer from strokes, and what's truly frightening is that many of these cases are not caused by genetics, but by what's on their plate. We often believe that only junk food or fast food can damage our arteries, but the truth is far more shocking. Some foods that appear healthy or normal are actually loaded with hidden salts, trans fats, and preservatives that silently increase the risk of stroke. The real danger comes from how these ingredients affect your blood vessels. When you consume too much sodium, for example, it causes your body to retain water. This extra fluid increases blood pressure, putting enormous stress on the delicate arteries in your brain. Over time, these arteries can become weak or even rupture. At the same time, trans fats and processed oils begin to coat the inner walls of your arteries with sticky plaque, reducing oxygen flow to the brain, a key trigger for both strokes and heart attacks. What makes it worse is that most people don't even realize they're eating these dangerous ingredients daily. They appear in bread, sauces, instant noodles, processed meats, and even some breakfast cereals. You might think you're eating something harmless, but your body is quietly struggling against inflammation and poor circulation. Understanding this hidden danger is the first step toward preventing a stroke before it ever happens. If there's one food that experts consistently warn against when it comes to stroke risk, it's processed meats like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, and deli slices. These foods may look tasty and harmless, but they're a dangerous cocktail of sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy fats. One of the biggest culprits is sodium nitrate, a chemical used to preserve the color and flavor of processed meats. Once inside your body, nitrates can convert into compounds called nitrosamines, which damage the lining of blood vessels and increase the risk of clot formation. But that's not all. Processed meats are also loaded with saturated fats, which raise LDL bad cholesterol levels. When LDL builds up in the arteries, it forms sticky plaques that narrow the blood vessels, making it harder for blood to flow freely to the brain. This restriction can lead to blockages, dramatically increasing the chance of a stroke. Even eating processed meat just 2 to 3 times a week can raise your stroke risk by up to 25%, according to multiple studies. What's scary is how easily they sneak into our diets, from breakfast sandwiches to pizzas and burgers. Over time, these small choices build up into serious damage. If you want to protect your brain and heart, it's time to look beyond taste and convenience. Cutting down on processed meats isn't just a dietary choice, it's a life-saving decision. Salt, something so simple and essential, can become deadly when consumed in excess. Most people don't realize that high sodium intake is one of the leading causes of hypertension, the silent killer, that directly increases your risk of stroke. You might think, I don't add much salt to my food, but here's the truth. Almost 80% of the salt you eat doesn't come from your salt shaker. It's hidden in packaged and restaurant foods. When you consume too much sodium, your body holds onto water to dilute it. This extra fluid increases the volume of blood flowing through your veins and arteries, which raises your blood pressure. Over time, the constant pressure damages the inner lining of your arteries, making them stiff, narrow, and prone to blockages. The brain, which relies on steady blood flow, becomes vulnerable. Even a slight clot or rupture can cut off oxygen to brain cells, leading to a stroke. The damage happens slowly and quietly. You won't feel it right away, no pain, no warning. But inside, your arteries are hardening. The risk multiplies if you already have other habits like smoking, lack of exercise, or eating fried foods. To protect yourself, start by reducing processed snacks, canned soups, sauces, and instant meals. Replace them with fresh herbs, lemon, or spices for flavor. Your body will thank you, and so will your brain. Remember, less salt today means fewer health emergencies tomorrow. One of the biggest health traps today isn't found in meals. It's in the snacks we eat between them. Chips, biscuits, crackers, instant noodles, and even so-called baked snacks are packed with ingredients that silently harm your heart and brain. The two most dangerous culprits are trans fats and refined carbohydrates. Together, they create the perfect storm for stroke risk. Trans fats, often listed as partially hydrogenated oils, are used to make snacks crispy and last longer on store shelves. But once they enter your body, they raise LDL bad cholesterol and lower HDL good cholesterol, thickening your blood and clogging arteries. Refined carbs like white flour and sugar spike your blood sugar levels, leading to inflammation and oxidative stress that further damage blood vessels. What's worse, many snack companies disguise unhealthy ingredients behind terms like low, fat, or baked, giving consumers a false sense of safety. You may think you're choosing better options, but the sodium, additives, and artificial flavors in these foods still wreak havoc on circulation and blood pressure. Over time, your arteries lose flexibility, blood flow slows down, and your brain becomes more vulnerable to clots or bleeds. That's exactly how strokes develop silently, one unhealthy snack at a time. Next time you crave something crunchy, swap chips for nuts, seeds, or air. Popped popcorn. Your arteries need protection, not punishment. Remember, the more natural your food, the stronger your body's defense against strokes. When most people think of stroke risk, they imagine fatty foods or high cholesterol, but few realize that sugar can be just as dangerous. Excess sugar doesn't just cause weight gain or diabetes, it directly affects your blood vessels and brain health. The problem begins when you consume too much added sugar from soft drinks, desserts, cereals, and even healthy, flavored yogurts. Your blood sugar spikes, causing your body to release large amounts of insulin. Over time, this leads to insulin resistance, which triggers chronic inflammation throughout the body, especially in your arteries. Inflamed arteries become weak and stiff, making it easier for fatty deposits to stick to their walls. This buildup narrows your arteries and restricts blood flow to the brain. When that happens, even a small clot can completely block oxygen supply, resulting in a stroke. High sugar intake also raises triglyceride levels, which further damages blood vessel linings and increases clotting risk. But the harm doesn't stop there. Studies show that people with consistently high sugar consumption have higher rates of cognitive decline, memory problems, and early-onset brain aging. In short, sugar doesn't just attack your waistline, it attacks your mind. If you truly want to protect your brain and heart, start by cutting down on sugary drinks, flavored coffees, and processed sweets. Replace them with whole fruits, unsweetened beverages, or natural honey in moderation. Reducing sugar today can literally save your brain tomorrow. Most people think cooking oil is just a basic kitchen ingredient, but the truth is, the wrong oil can slowly destroy your arteries and dramatically increase your risk of stroke. The biggest offenders are refined vegetable oils such as soybean, corn, sunflower, and canola oil. These oils are heavily processed, bleached, and deodorized, which means they lose their natural nutrients and become loaded with unstable omega-6 fatty acids. When consumed in excess, omega-6 fats create an imbalance in the body, leading to chronic inflammation, a major driver of stroke and heart disease. These oils also oxidize easily when heated, producing harmful free radicals that damage blood vessel walls and accelerate plaque buildup. Over time, this buildup narrows arteries and limits oxygen supply to the brain. One small clot or burst vessel is all it takes to trigger a life-changing stroke. Another hidden danger lies in reusing cooking oil, something commonly done at home and in restaurants. Each time oil is reheated, it breaks down further, releasing toxic compounds called aldehydes. These toxins don't just harm your arteries, they also damage your brain cells, increasing the risk of both stroke and dementia. The best solution: replace refined oils with coal, pressed olive oil, avocado oil, or mustard oil. These healthier fats reduce inflammation and support circulation. Remember, your choice of cooking oil could be the difference between a healthy brain and a hospital visit. Choose wisely every single time. In today's fast-paced world, processed foods have quietly taken over our diets. From instant noodles and frozen meals to sauces, canned soups, and packaged snacks, these convenient options may save time, but they silently damage your body over time. The truth is, processed foods create a domino effect inside your system. One harmful reaction leads to another, ultimately increasing your risk of stroke. Here's how it happens. Processed foods are typically loaded with sodium, refined carbs, unhealthy oils, and artificial additives. Each of these ingredients puts stress on your cardiovascular system. Sodium raises blood pressure, trans fats clog arteries, and refined sugars cause inflammation. When all of these factors combine, they create the perfect internal storm for arterial damage, blood clots, and reduced oxygen flow to the brain, the three key triggers for a stroke. What makes this even worse is how addictive these foods are. The combination of salt, sugar, and fat activates pleasure centers in your brain, making it hard to stop eating them, even when you know they're harming you. This cycle of overconsumption keeps your arteries under constant attack. Breaking this pattern starts with awareness. Read ingredient labels carefully. If a product has a long list of chemicals, preservatives, or ingredients you can't pronounce, put it back on the shelf. Choose whole, unprocessed foods instead. Every time you swap a packaged meal for something natural, you're protecting your brain and extending your life. Fast food may be convenient, cheap, and delicious, but it's one of the most dangerous habits when it comes to your brain and heart health. Burgers, fries, fried chicken, and pizzas are loaded with trans fats, sodium, and refined carbs, creating the perfect recipe for clogged arteries and high blood pressure, the two biggest stroke triggers. Every bite you take floods your bloodstream with unhealthy fats that stick to artery walls, forming plaques that narrow the vessels over time. When blood can't flow freely to your brain, the risk of a stroke skyrockets. What makes fast food even more harmful is its effect on your blood sugar and hormones. The refined carbs in burger buns, fries, and sodas cause sugar spikes and crashes, leading to inflammation and insulin resistance. Combined with high sodium and fat intake, your cardiovascular system becomes a ticking time bomb. To make matters worse, many fast food oils are reused multiple times, creating toxic compounds that damage the lining of blood vessels and increase clot formation. Even a single meal can temporarily raise your blood pressure and thicken your blood. Imagine what daily consumption does over years. The scary truth: regular fast food eaters are 30% more likely to suffer a stroke or heart attack than those who eat home, cooked meals. If you value your brain and longevity, start cutting back now. Fast food might satisfy your cravings, but it's also feeding the very disease that could stop your heartbeat. Now that we've uncovered the foods silently increasing your stroke risk, it's time to focus on what actually protects your brain and arteries. The key lies in anti-inflammatory, antioxidant-rich, and nutrient-dense foods that improve circulation, lower blood pressure, and prevent clots from forming. Think of these foods as your natural defense system against stroke. Start with leafy green vegetables like spinach, kale, and broccoli. They're loaded with potassium and folate, two nutrients that relax blood vessels and reduce pressure inside your arteries. Next, add fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, or mackerel. These are packed with omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation, improve blood flow, and prevent plaque buildup. Whole grains like oats, quinoa, and brown rice help regulate blood sugar and cholesterol levels, while berries, especially blueberries and strawberries, are powerful antioxidants that protect brain cells from oxidative stress. Nuts and seeds, especially walnuts and flax seeds, also support healthy arteries. Don't forget olive oil, one of the best heart-healthy fats available. Its anti-inflammatory properties have been linked to lower rates of stroke in Mediterranean countries. And of course, staying hydrated with plenty of water helps your blood flow smoothly. The rule is simple: if it comes from the earth and not a factory, it's likely good for you. Small changes in your daily eating habits can dramatically reduce your stroke risk and help you live stronger, sharper, and longer. By now, you understand that strokes don't just happen. They're built silently, one bad meal, one salty snack, one sugary drink at a time. The foods we choose every single day determine whether our arteries stay clear or become clogged. But here's the good news: your body is incredibly resilient. The moment you start eating right, your arteries begin to heal, inflammation drops, and your blood pressure starts to normalize. It's never too late to turn things around. Start small, cut back on processed meats, avoid sugary beverages, and swap refined oils for healthy fats like olive or avocado oil. Load your plate with vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins. And don't forget lifestyle habits. Regular exercise, proper sleep, and stress control are just as crucial for keeping your blood vessels strong. Also, listen to your body. Frequent headaches, dizziness, or sudden numbness can be early warning signs of poor circulation. Never ignore them. Consult your doctor regularly, especially if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a family history of stroke. Remember, a stroke doesn't just affect you, it impacts your loved ones too. So take charge of your health today. The food you eat can either be your medicine or your poison. The choice is yours. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-saving health tips. Your one click could help someone avoid a serious stroke. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.